ladies and gentlemen, DJs are out there. The guy you're seeing on the screen right now is somebody who has been extremely consistent in the DJ world in Trinidad and Tobago and the entertainment world in Trinidad and Tobago for a number of years. And I'm going to make a comparison to something which will sound like he's been doing it forever, but he's not that old, right? Neither of us that old. So this guy has been part of two of the most influential DJ units in Trinidad and Tobago in the last 2 decades, right? And when I say 2 decades, it will sound like it's long, but not really that long.
It's actually sounding long, eh?
It's sounding long. But at the same point in time, he's been part of these two influential DJ groups, which we're going to get to in detail as well. His DJ exploits has led him to also being one of Machel Montano's touring DJs locally and internationally. And for anybody who is into radio, you all know him as one of the DJs on 96.1, the Ojo, right? Which I was part of as well, so big up the Ojo as well. That's my alma mater radio station. So ladies and gentlemen, DJs out there, Mr. Justin Singh, a.k.a. Assassin Singh.
What's up, Groove Theory? What's up? Big up, big up, big up.
Yeah, well, good to see you, brother. I mean, I guess nobody could have predicted that after Ash Wednesday, or I should say after Carnival Tuesday, when you had jump off that truck at whatever time in the evening, that this would be our case in the 7th of May in 2020.
Listen, as we saw, I mean, we have a lot of memes going out about if I knew this was my last party and this and that, I would enjoy myself. Yeah. No, we had to start by saying, as you talk about that with Carnival, right? I think this Carnival this year, as in 2020, was actually one of the best carnivals to date for me.
Even Private Ryan said that. Even Private Ryan said that.
It was, I mean, you know, at the start of the season, a lot of people will be like, oh, the music and music not hitting and this and that. But I think on the road from watching the Masqueraders, I think this year, and even people who didn't play Mask, it was like, yo, the music was good. Everything was on point. The vibe was on point. Even the events, everything leading up to Carnival was good. So as you said just now, to know that, all right after, because I think as DJs, promoters, entertainers, artists, everybody was looking, even party goers was looking forward to the rest of the year. Because I mean, when we start from Trinidad Carnival, obviously we go straight down into all the carnivals for the rest of the year and then come back around. Yeah. So I think everybody was looking forward to it. Like I, for one, was actually looking forward to every single carnival the rest of this year. So, you know, I don't think anybody expected. I mean, we were hearing about it, about the virus, obviously. People wouldn't know. You would hear, if you're into the news and it was really taking on what's going on, you would hear that in China it started. But I don't think anybody was predicting, as you say, it would have reached to this now where everything, the whole world at a standstill. It's not just Trinidad.
And look, the truth of the fact is that we all kind of take certain things for granted at times. And I do think that even though in life we have the tendency to take things for granted, I honestly don't believe that any of us anticipated that things would have been this serious and this profound internationally. I don't think anybody could have predicted that. So even if you were looking at the news and seeing... Sorry, say that again?
I said, I don't think it would have been this drastic either. It was like... just like that. We didn't anticipate this, but at the same point in time, as Selector Kerry has always said, there's a big reset, and one of the things I'm very glad that we've been able to do, especially with the Groove Theory one-on-one series, is that now DJs and people in entertainment who individuals are accustomed seeing now getting to hear them from a different side. Because as I've been saying, and that's something I want to say to everybody when we're finished with tonight, there's something really important I want to let everybody know about what is the mission of these lives, because somebody asked me about that. But we'll get to that later. Firstly, I really want to get to the history of Assassin, right? Because I think to some extent, people have what is called sometimes as recency bias. You know, like when you're hearing people talking about NBA basketball and saying that LeBron James right now is the greatest player that ever lived, but the guys that grew up in the 90s would say like Jordan was the greatest player. So it's always that recency bias. And there are DJs right now that, no disrespect to them, they are considered top of the field right now. But I don't think people really understand the influence that Assassin had in the DJ industry
going all the way back to the beginning. And before I end up in the 5-star days, just for anybody that wanted to know, how did you of yourself get into wanting to play music?
Well, okay, if you want to go that far back, which we are going to, if you know me from going to school with me in school days, you would know that my first love, and probably still one of, is football. I was playing football heavy in school. Right? I was like 14, 15 years old, playing for the school, was the captain of the team. And I always view myself as being a footballer. Someone said, yeah, my dream is to play professional football.
You was a Manchester United fan? You was a Manchester United fan?
Nah. I mean,
come on.
Let me be real. I wouldn't say I was a Manchester United fan. I would have supported Dwight York in the 90s when he used to play, I think it was 98, 99, around that time.
All right.
When he was, right? Obviously, everybody would have been like, oh yeah, Dwight York. But I was never a Manchester United fan. So let me get that out of the way.
But some of the greats in football passed through Manchester United.
Cool.
Even
I am a David Beckham fan. Nah, I'm not going into that football, but that team thing. I ain't going into that. There's a whole next 2 hours.
That's our next one.
Yeah.
That's our whole next 2 hours. I'll get vexed. So continue.
Yeah, let me forget that. But I mean, football was always was my first love, and but music was always around. Like from the start, it was always around, from dad straight down to uncle. Everybody who was around was involved in music in some way, and I'd always liked music. I didn't think about playing music, but I always liked listening to music, and I always listen to different types of different genres of music. And when I say listen, I mean as in, if I hear it and I don't know what it is, I'll be like, oh good, yeah, that sounds good, you know?
Right.
And one of the memories I always remember was going to school. I think I would have been in primary school still. Yeah, in primary school still. I remember my mom used to listen every morning when she making breakfast for my brother and I to go to school in primary school.
Right.
Every morning she had this cassette, this one particular cassette that she would have on rotation while we eating breakfast before we go to school every single morning. And that was Sade. For those of you who don't know about Sade, that was Sade's greatest hits album.
With Smooth Operator and thing.
With Smooth Operator, No Ordinary Love, all them.
Yeah.
Listen, Shomari, this and Groove Theory, this was on repeat every morning. So I fell in love with that type of music from and Michael Jackson and all that, right? But it was right after, I think, CXC. I think it's summer vacation in CXC. My dad had a music store, right, where he used to build boxes, used to sell records, all these things. This was in Diego Martin where we grew up, right? Right. So what he started doing was, apart from the building of the boxes, the speaker boxes and thing in them time, what he started doing was, I think he was the first person to actually have a CD recorder. Okay. Now, what this was the turntable. What he had was a turntable. It was not Technics. It was them, you know, the roll. For those of you who don't know,
we used to call it a roly-poly.
The roll pitch. It was the roll pitch. Yeah, it was the roll pitch. Right? He had the roll pitch, one roll pitch turntable, a 4-channel mixer. I can't remember what mixer it was. It was them slow mixers. Yeah. And he got this CD recorder and he told me, he said, all right, for summer, this is your job. People are going to come in and bring their records, and the new thing is going to be that they're going to want it on CDs. Right. So your job, right? I was like 15 or 16. He was like, your job would be to convert the records that they have to CD. Right. No, mind you. This is where it gets tricky. Mind you, it's not like now where you press something and it's kind of like 2-3 seconds, it transfers. Nope. I had to listen to the whole record, the whole song, everything had to play and track it out individually every day, right? Yeah. So again, that's where the music, I started to get involved in different types of music. So what I would do, because it was me alone, what I would start doing was just messing around with started playing with the platter and just, it was like, okay, yeah, you know, this is cool.
Right.
Then I just started experimenting with it. He would come in and you know, he like give me a couple of tips about it, but he wasn't really a DJ. He was just into music, right?
Yeah.
So I started playing around with it, and eventually, I think a year after, I ended up saying, you know what? I used to take it home, back to home, because this was in the shop. I used to take it home, and in the nighttime, what I would do is play with the one turntable and the mixer, and Discmans were out then. So I would take it. Yeah, it was a Kobe Discman. So I would take the Kobe Discman.
I'm interested if everybody inside here know what a Discman is. So if nobody knows what a Discman is, please message in the comments and let us know. I'm going to pull out one. That I have
and we will pull out a Discman and show them what the Discman is, right? Right.
Good. Yeah.
Right. So, well, obviously, I think you would gather that this one had no pitch in it. It had nothing. It was just pause, play.
It had none. Yeah.
So, pause, play, stop. That is it. It opens, something to flip open, and nice. You put in the CD, bam, that is it.
Correct.
So I had that. I would take that home in the night. And what I would do is I would put on my headphones because I couldn't play music loud in the house. But they used to be like, no, don't want no loud music. And then time she didn't want me playing music in the first place. Why are you bringing that stupidness home? Carry that back in the car. Right?
Yeah.
So what I would do is in the nights, I would, like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, I'd get up and I would put on the headphones and I would just start messing around with it. I didn't have anybody at that time to ask, okay, this is how you mix. How do you mix songs? How do you put this together? I kind of had to like listen. I used to listen to it. I started listening to the radio a lot then. I started listening to radio a lot.
So you were also self-taught as well?
Self-taught from scratch, everything.
So you are the second person for the week because Kevin Crown told me this week that he was actually self-taught.
Oh,
yeah,
self-taught.
Right.
From scratch.
Right.
So as you say, history again. The history. This is 100% everything.
Right.
I started listening to the radio a lot, and I started to realize that some of the things that I started to kind of teach myself to do from listening was kind of like the same thing I used to hear on the radio.
Right.
I used to hear them doing.
Yeah.
Counting the bars and counting and being like, okay, yeah. Obviously, in those times, you would know from turntablists, you would know they had no BPM, so we knew nothing about BPM. And
we didn't know nothing about that.
We didn't know anything about BPM. 100 BPM will mix with 102. We didn't know nothing about that. You have to listen.
So that's two things. That's two things that any younger DJ or any younger person inside here would know. That before in DJing, before Serato, we never used to mix with terms of BPM. As we used to work with tempo. And second of all, if she doesn't know what this is, she's too young for you, bro. If she doesn't know what this is, she's too young for you, bro.
Yeah, no. Let me see that. Let me see that again. Yeah, no.
Exactly. We learn button right there and flip it up like,
tell you last wow.
I tell you, I'm right here, dog.
Right, okay, hold it up again. Hold it up, right? I need to hold it up for me, right? So, for the DJs now to understand how difficult it was to pause, mark your spot, play, pause, play, and try to mix with that, right? Obviously, I have no search to go back or anything like that. No, dog. You have to know where the spot is, and hopefully, when you press pause,
point marking, dog. Come on.
Bring back, yeah. That's memory. Yeah. So, as I was saying, right, it's like, so I started to play around with it and I realized, okay, obviously, I would think that I was on point with it. Thinking back at it, no, I wasn't all that on point with it, but if you understand what I'm saying, it's like, okay, I had the idea, I started to develop the idea of it.
Yeah.
And the more I started to do this, the more I started to like it. And I realized, hey, on to something here. And I remember what I would do sometimes is when I figure out something, I used to tell my brother 4 years younger than me. If you don't know, that's DJ Tech. For the DJs out there, that's my brother. So he used to live with us, right? So I used to tell him, he was young in them times, so he didn't really understand either what I was saying. I remember I used to tell him, hey, I figured out how to do this, and it was like a big deal. You're like, yeah, wow. Yeah. And then Ryan Spartan, which is also our cousin. Well, I used to tell him, there was 3 of us, I used to tell him, hey, I figured out how to do this, boy. And I think I have it correct. And I used to get him to listen and be like, hey, yeah, it's sounding good. Mind you, in them time, I really don't think, as I say, sounding all that good.
Yeah.
we were practicing it. It was like, okay, yeah. So the more I would listen to the radios, the more I would start learning the music, which is the dancehall, the hip hop, and I would listen to particularly two people I used to listen to in particular. I used to start listening to, in them time would have been Junior, Studio Guys.
Studio Guys,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, I listened to Junior a lot when Junior was on, and I remember listening to Ishmael. Right. This book, I didn't really get too hard into the sound system thing yet. I remember when Jugglers and them was on and Radioactive and everybody was on. But to me, I still listen to try to figure out. I think these guys actually had the different formula because they were actual DJs. They weren't sound system DJs.
Right.
You know, and them times they were actual like DJs, sound system DJs, and we'll get into all that later. The sound system DJs in them time would have been different.
Yeah.
You know, the DJs would have been a whole different realm. So they were just DJs. So I remember listening and I used to be like, okay, yeah. And I started to get into the mixing. I honestly didn't think about scratching or anything then. Like scratching I used to hear it, I'd be like, oh yeah, boy, this song is real bad.
Yeah.
But I couldn't do it, so I used to practice the mixing and try to be able to mix, you know, emulate the same kind of, not the same mixes, but try to figure out, okay, if this is correct, if this sounds correct.
Yeah.
Because that's what it was about. You know, you have to figure out if it's sounding correct or not.
If it's sounding correct with the bars and beats together.
Yeah. So eventually I realized after doing it over and over, I realized, okay, yeah, boy, this could be something here. So this is when I started listening more to the sound system DJs, which would have been the Jugglers and Radioactive, Matt Similar. But it would have mainly be Radioactive and Jugglers in those times. Saturday morning with Jugglers and Radioactive on the Friday. The Friday 12 noon, 12 to 4 on Friday.
12 to 4, yeah.
Yes. All right. So I used to make sure and listen to that religiously.
Right.
Over and over and over. And I started to like that aspect of it more and more. So I started to realize, hey, I like the wildness and the pulling up and the wow, argument and everything.
Yeah.
So, again, I just used to be practicing right through a lot. Football more or less became inside.
To my memory, because I remember working 96, and you know, obviously when you're in the Gael, you see plenty stories or whatever. Yeah. I think it was Hoppy that actually introduced you to radio.
Well, I'm gonna get to all that now.
Right.
That's what we're going to know.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. So I'm trying to give her like a timeline of it here, right? So
yeah.
At which way I started to like the sound system vibes of it. And where we were living at that time in Dago Martin, that's Diamondville. Those are real familiar with Dago Martin, Diamondville. I also went to primary school there.
Right.
So on that same street where we were living, 5 houses down the road. Who was living 5 houses down the road?
Kwesi
Hopkinson.
And for anybody who don't know who Kwesi Hopkinson is, that is Mr. Scorch right now.
Yeah.
But that's Hoppy, who was part of one of the other big sound systems in Trinidad and Tobago at that point in time, which was Radioactive. Yeah.
Pioneers of the sound system here.
Yeah.
Now, how I came to find out that he was living there is the park where we used to go and play football every evening. Everybody in Diamondville, Rockfirst Park, he used to actually come and play football there as well. Right. And I remember a couple of the guys was started to call his name, and I was like, I didn't know. I said, hey, Marina, I didn't know what he looked like. I didn't know nothing. And he'd be like, hey, Hoppy boy, thing. And I should be like, wait, that's the same guy who's be on radio. And I was like, yeah, boy, that is Hoppy, that is Radioactive thing. And I remember a time I went and I talked to him after Sweat. And I told him when I started the DJ thing, and he was like, yeah, well, I live in Bristol. I was like, serious? I live in, he said, you only living down by Dylan and them house? I was like, yeah. He was like, yeah. He was like, well, come and check me. He said, they pass and check my day. So, next day, I'm there. And I remember when the first time I went in there, it was all of them guys. If you're familiar, those who are not familiar with sound system, the sound system era in those times, unlike like DJ Cruise now, the sound system would have been like a real sound system. It would have been like at least, Shomari can tell you, it would have been like at least 20 plus. Yeah,
and we say big up in Excalibur, who used to go to parties with 20 people.
Even more, sometimes even more than that. When you go by the doors, like 2-3 men holding the crates. Man,
You know,
just
to think about it, as a promoter at that point in time, it can be really frustrating, you know, because now, if you go to an event, let me say you go to an event, is you, let me say you're with Marcus, is you, Marcus, X-Base, and you're one guest and you're one guest. At that point in time, people, when Excalibur or Radioactive pull up, is like me and 20 people coming in. And the promoter had to give all them 20 passes. That was
and it's not like because again, right? We look back at it now, it's funny, right? Because the only people you needed was the DJ
and
the MC, and maybe the men who put the back the records in because them time
right,
the
selector.
fast, so, right?
Right.
So probably let me say 4. Let me give it as 4 men maximum.
Nah.
Right? You give it 4. It used to be 20 plus. Right? So again, I'm glad we had this time to talk, and I feel we might end up going, as we were talking about, I feel we have 2 hours here tonight. Because we now start here.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, it's like, yeah, come true. And I remember going there and seeing all them guys there. This was the first time in my life I saw Damian Evans, aka Goofy, who's now on the Mother Drive, right?
Right, yeah.
So Damian was the first man right walking. Damian was, Papi, why you crazy? Why you have all these little men and them just coming in here and lying in here, boy? Yeah. He's still a hater to this day.
Yeah.
Nice Damian for you.
Yeah.
I'm a boy, I'm a dog now. He's like, Chrissy, why you just have these little men and them just coming in here, boy? He says like, nah, thing, man. And every day I would go back. Every day, I just going back. It just went on for probably like about 2-3 months. I was just going back. Right? And he would ask me now, and then he's like, you're practicing or your thing? I was like, well, yeah. He said, well, they start a little song system. So my cousin, which is again a Spartan, and my brother, we started a little mini song system. Right? And then that evolved into something called commission song system.
I just which would have been the comments saying that just now commission song system.
Right. That evolved into commission song system. This was actually my first DJ group that I was ever involved in. Right? Big up to all the guys from Commission Song. Right? Those were the guys. It was like probably I think it would be like about 10 of us, right?
Right.
We were managed by a group called Young Execs.
I've heard about
Young Execs, right. The Young Execs in them time would have been Keron. That's Tim, no.
Budu Singh, right?
Right, and 2 other guys, right? From who, everybody was Diamondville crew, right? So they were a management group. They said, fellas, we don't manage all, and we put in all in. But they started doing events as well. It's like, fellas, we don't manage all your thing, whatever. Cool, yeah. Made jerseys, right? Put in all in events. I'm gonna try to get all to playing bass. In them time, bass nightclub was the nightclub. Bass and Coconut. Bass was I think bass would have been the more, to me, would have been the more hip, younger audience. Maybe like how what to describe it as now? Maybe like a 51 and Resident. Something like that.
Yeah.
Right? So it was that. It was like, yo, fellas, getting all to play. You're gonna play in bass. Cool. We played in bass, played in soccer picnics. As I say, we had the t-shirts was a big thing in them time. It was just like a plain print commission sound, and that's all it was. Right?
Yeah.
And so that went on, and Quasi started to realize, oh, hey, you're doing your thing. All right, cool. No problem. And it just so happened.
I wait to hold that thought for a second, because this is the first point I want to make actually for everybody that tuned in live tonight. Before the history or before the era of Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and social media, networking was actually being present. And being present is an important thing. So you just spoke about going to these guys and actually spending time doing things that were not DJ related to build a relationship with them. And while you're building the relationship with them, you're actually still working on your craft, but you're building a relationship with them and you're letting them know. So at that point in time, when you're doing your thing, it's like, Hoppy would be like, dog, you're still doing your thing. It's like, so that when it comes time to prove yourself now, you've already built that relationship from the network. And when it's time to go out and execute, people will be like, yo, well, I know you put in the work and I'm getting to know this person as an individual. And I think that is one thing, one of the first points you want to hit on tonight is that at the end of the day, as important as social media is right now, which is something we'll get down to later, I think a lot of people take away the real impact of actually having conversations with people, like physical conversations with people. So that's why a lot of times, there's a lot of times I'll send a voice note, because sometimes a lot can be inferred from going on an Instagram page or sending a WhatsApp message. But when you actually hear somebody's voice and the tone of what they're saying and the seriousness of what they're saying, you kind of understand, right, this person either mean business or nonsense.
I fully agree. I agree with that, especially that point with the voice notes. Because I mean, messages sometimes, I mean, you can't tell tone by sending a text message. You can't tell exactly sometimes what a person really trying to say. You know, sometimes you might take it a certain way or whatever. So voices, and you're right. So that, as you say, social presence in those times were very important, because we didn't have Facebook and all these things to promote yourself. We didn't have nothing. So you actually had to be in the moment, and you actually had to show your interest and show that, okay, this is what I have, and I have skills.
That name and that skill set for Kwesi, I guess, to be like, yo, I could actually take this guy to radio and bring him on to actually play with you guys on radio. Just to learn
a quick story on how that came along. As I say, it started to progress where we started to play a lot more every Friday night. We would be featured in the club at the start, right? And I remember this one particular time, it would have been 2002.
Right. You're selling out your age here.
Time.
You're selling out your age here. I didn't want to do it, but you're selling out your age here. But all right, continue.
Yeah, forever.
Right.
Yeah. It was around that time I remember they had, I can't remember what it was that happened, but DJing, which was Lord Hype, I think they had some thing going on between him and the sound system with Radioactive, and he wasn't there anymore. I think he started something with TC, which is Jagger now.
Jagger, yeah.
And and I remember a Friday, because I said I used to go what people would call file. I used to go and file with Happy and then write you every day. I buy Kwesi. Every day I like buy Kwesi. Every day I'm there. So I remember this Friday morning, it would have been like about 9:30 a.m. I get up and I say, I'm going to check Kwesi. And before they go to radio at 12, and I went and I checked Kwesi, and it was him alone there. And nobody was in the room where he had the turntable set up. And I just went 1200s, and I used to practice on the same thing I told you all from. He had the 1200, was yellow 1200s, and a mix. I can't remember what the mixer was. So while he was getting ready, it was early in the morning, I turned it on and I just started playing, because I was like, wait, 1200s, I finally get a chance to practice on 1200s. So I went and I started playing around with it, messing around with it. This time he up and down, getting ready to go. And come and he sat up and he was like, so you get good then? Just so he's like, you get good? I was like, no, I mean, I've been practicing. He was like, nah, you sounding good. He was like, yeah, what? Let me go back to the station. I'm going to work now. Jump in the car, let we go. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, jump in the car, let we go. He had a yellow Civic. the yellow bird. Jump in the car, let we go.
The yellow Civic. Yeah.
The yellow Civic is called the yellow bird. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Jump in the car, let we go. Again, that's a big deal. I was like, all right, here what? Give me 2 minutes, I need to run down the road and tell my mother I'm going. Come back. Again, we young. Yeah. I was like, we young. I need to go to somebody. He was like, he started laughing. He was like, all right, I can't wait. It's 5 houses now. I was like, Mommy, Kwesi over to go to the radio. She said, who's Kwesi? I was like, how Kwesi was going? Oh, okay. She not going to the radio. Why are you going there? I was like, I want to go.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going around. I said, I have to go. I think I had a truck. She was like, gone. No clue what was going to happen. Went to the radio station. That day, I think who would have been DJing for him that time? I think it would have been Raw Fusion. He had holding down the 12 to 4 shift.
Right.
Was holding because Dane wasn't there.
Yeah.
It would have been like about 2:30. They were on 12 to 4. At 2:30, around there, somewhere I remember it was a little into the shift. Kwesi was like, let small man take a thing.
Yeah. So again, so here where we reach with this right now. We learn first of all that Assassin career started on recording stuff to play on this, right?
Yeah.
to play on this. So we learned that. We learned from that. He used to work with the football team of fellas to go to fets with the team of fellas, right? And you got
football team.
the football team of fellas to go to parties. But it's so interesting that your first introduction to radio was getting thrown into the deep end. Because, and I say, now, I wanna say good night going to all the local DJs we have in the chat right now. Because if any of the guys, I see DJ Carbon here, I saw Carbon here, I saw a couple of people here. Everybody would know that if you get thrown into the deep end on 96.1, you have to hit that out the park immediately. So
whether you can swim or not, you had to swim.
You have to swim. Because if you don't swim, and you get thrown into the deep end, you're not just going drunk, you know. You're going drunk for a long time.
First and last.
Yeah.
First and last.
That's really something. That's really
so he was like, yeah, just go ahead. I was like, you sure? He was like, yeah. You have a segment ready? I was like, well, yeah, cool. I ended up, the first rhythm that I started with was the Brockout rhythm.
You're ready straight to H here? You're ready straight to H here, brother?
19.
But that's all right.
That's all right. We old. yeah. So that was the rhythm I started with. I remember playing. It felt like long. It felt like a whole shift. In reality, I think it was like 20 or 25 minutes. The segment was, and that was the segment. And I would say this right now. I think that was the segment that changed my life in amazing ways. Like from there, that was the segment that was it. Because 2 minutes into the set, Kwesi announced me as the Silent Assassin. That's what the first name I had was the Silent Assassin. Because I was quiet. I didn't used to talk. I didn't used to say anything. I just used to be around when I go to the line by them. I never used to say a word. I used to stand up in a corner and watch them and just be quiet and nothing. So, for the people who know who say, but here's Mike now, here's a Mike man now, you talk plenty now. Listen, if you know me in them time, even as a person out of the music thing, I didn't used to talk much. I was quiet.
I mean, now for anybody who used to party like in the 90s and go to the sound clashes, they would know that the sound clashes used to be huge because then when they go to see Matt Similar against Excalibur against Jugglers, you have hundreds of people going to see these shows like in Mobs 200. But what was amazing to me about Associate Degree is that Associate Degree is a featured DJ and you guys are pulling 2,000, 3,000 people in shows. Yes, son? Do you think that experience of Associate Degree kind of took you a little bit more out of the silent assassin person and more into the assassin that you are now?
That's all. Say, I did. You cut there. That's all. Say that again. The last.
Yeah, I see. Bashi say you and your old internet. So let me say that again, right? Do you think that the experience that you had with Associate Degree in that level kind of tipped you from being the quiet person to the assassin that you are now?
Okay, well, quick again. Let me just go. I try to stay on the timeline. So from there, I end up joining, obviously, Radioactive. It wasn't too long because, again, the age difference was like a big factor.
Right.
So I remembered at that time, I think probably would have been a year after Associate Degree was just coming along. And I remember hearing about Akil, which would have been Killer Miller and Gilligan in them time. They would
Killer Miller,
as the young, that was his name, as the young sound systems coming up. Killer, they would have been in every event with the bigger sound systems, but they obviously would have been the feature, the younger songs, like the big song and the young song, right? So they were the head of the young songs in them time. And I remember this one conversation, a time after Saturday on the radio, Kwesi came and he was like, here, what? I need to introduce you to these fellas here because somehow I feel that this is where you need to go with this, because again, we kind of like obviously on a different level, you know.
Right.
I feel you need to go here with them and grow with them and come up with them, and this will be good. I remember he having a conversation with Akil as well, and he introduced us. And
Right.
I think as soon as he, if I remember well, as soon as he introduced Akil and I, that was it. Akil and I was like, click one time.
Yeah.
One time. Hit it off one time. Everything was like on point. It was like, yeah, boy, thing. And we started to go events together and events. And from there, it like spiraled quick.
Yeah.
Fast. Like,
yeah.
I remember Akil and I, we would hit 5-6 events in a night. And this is events all around at them time Trinidad. Every spot in Trinidad we would hit south, deep south, central, here, bam, bam, and then go to the big event for the night, which should have been in Anchorage or somewhere at that time, and close off the event.
Right.
So you're right. And the things we started doing, and again, I had to give Akil a lot of props for that. You know, Akil was one that helped me the same way I would say that I helped him grow as an MC, and to do things like he helped me a lot with the push and the drive to always be on point and always do. He was like, yo, we need to start. You had to be quick, fast. And that's how I started to learn to be, because them time was CDs still. The CDs came in as the thing in them time, right? So the record started the phase on everything was CDs, you go on CDs. We had everything going on CDs. It's like you need to be like real quick on this shit.
Right.
Quick, just be fast. We're going fast. And that's how I learned to actually juggle really fast.
Yeah.
And I say fast as in quick. In them time it would have been quick. As you would say now, the boat ride juggling. We used the boat ride juggling them time.
Well, that's where it came from.
CDs. Yeah, it came from that. Quick, like fast. And you know, when he started to say, okay, he want to do events, and we started doing events and everything. And as you say, the fashion became like the events would have been, if you ever came to an event that Associate Degree had, for the ones that would have been around in them time, or the ones that heard about it, you would have known that the fashion, the dress code would have been a big deal in them time.
Yeah.
And even when we go into events to play, it was like, big up to Benetton. Akil was one of the first guys that introduced me to Benetton, and he was like, hey, there's the store here. And up to this day, literally almost everything I have, most of the things I have is Benetton. I first go to is Benetton.
Right.
So, yeah, so Associate Degree was like, those would have been probably like, what, 4 or 5 years. It was like another, so it was like the radioactive era where I started. And then the middle of my career would have been Associate Degree. And that middle time was like the growth time. That's when I grew from just being a young upcoming DJ to being, at that time, probably would have been considered one of the best DJs in the country at that time at my age. And I'm talking about, I was been like, what, like 22, 23 years old. But in them time now, when you hear somebody 23 years old now amongst the others now, it's different. But you wouldn't find young DJs at that time mixing with the older DJs in those times. You would know that it was very difficult for us to break through and break that barrier and get in the same events with them and to play alongside them. It was very difficult to do that.
You know, as you said that, I want to ask you a question. Why do you think at that point in time, it was so difficult for younger DJs to break into that barrier and get in, as opposed to now, where we see a lot of younger DJs making a name from much earlier? So we have guys like Gio, right? We have guys like Gio, who was one of the youngest people to ever get on radio in Trinidad and Tobago. And I could go even Selector Kerry, before Kerry reached where he was. Kerry was one of the young fellas beating the ground, going into events. And as he said before, people didn't even know that Kerry's own family didn't know that Kerry was on radio. His father didn't know he was on radio when he was on 96.1 with us. Why do you think it's different now, that younger DJs now can find themselves in a spot where they could be more mainstream as opposed to when we, or I should say you, were coming into your ranks?
I think it have a lot to do with again, as we were talking about, with the social presence of a lot of things. And I would say maybe social media has a lot to do with the marketing wise. Also, the events now, when I say now, I would say with probably last 5 years, a lot of the events more catered to the younger audience now.
Right.
So the younger audience would be maybe between, a lot of them would be between the 16 to 20, 21, 22, 23 age bracket. And let's be real, a lot of those younger audience, younger people, most of them have no clue who you and I are.
Right.
So really and truly, they would really want to say, okay, we have so-and-so playing, and be like, most of them would be like, who's that? You don't know that. And then they will have now, and I think now they have a lot more younger DJs now that actually, involved in it and involved with the same promoters and everybody growing up around the same time. So I think now, I would say maybe it's a little bit easier to break the barrier now because of those things. In those times, as I say, it was more limited to just this amount.
Right.
And when you're trying to get in, it was difficult because maybe the promoters, it was different then. The promoters only wanted the big DJs in them times.
Right.
They only wanted the big DJs, whereas now the promoters will have to want the younger ones because from going to the events or throwing events, they would know that, all right, maybe this wouldn't work, but we'll try to have. And then something that we should go into, and I think we should go into because, I mean, it's real as what's going on now. The free DJs. They have a lot of free DJs.
Right.
We're being real. We're being real. This is what this is here about.
Right.
And you wanted to talk about something with that, and that's good, like the business aspect of it. Because there are a lot of DJs now that, again, I mean, yes, you're good and you might think that you're good, and know your worth still. What you're doing right now will have a big effect on the business further down for you. And you might think it's not going to affect you, but it will. Right. Well, because we've seen it now with all this going on over this COVID thing now and everything, and how things shut down now.
And I just say that because we will talk about our freeness part before 9:30, because I think we need to get into that. Now, I will be the person to argue for, and I guess you can be the person to argue against, because I'll be devil's advocate. So the argument for guys playing for free is because there are some DJs out there that's still trying to build a name and build a reputation, and they understand that a promoter has a budget of, let me say, we just threw out a number, $5,000, right? So after they pay how much of $1,000 for Artiste Team, you pay how much of $1,000 for Redymix, you pay how much of $1,000 for Selector Carry, you pay how much of $1,000 for whoever, right? Yeah. And they put together a cast. At the end of the day, a guy still wants to try to impress to be able to get into events, right? So he doesn't have that name as yet. So the only way that he can impress himself for the promoter is if he go and say, all right, put me in events and put me to play wherever it is you want me to play, first, last, in between, and I ain't gonna charge you because I'm trying to get my name out there, right? What is your opinion on that? And how do you think that has negatively affected the business?
Now, let me be honest. I started by saying that when I used to get my first, my first blind to play in clubs like this and them thing, especially my first blind them time, no way we ain't getting no pay.
Right.
We ain't getting nothing.
Right.
But knowing your worth is one thing, and knowing that, okay, one day you would have to obviously say to yourself or say to the promoters that, hey, and Bazo was on now or whatever, Bazo could tell you, eventually, because I said every Friday we started Bazo, we just say, well, here what's going on, fellas. I was trying to hit all you a little something because I realized all you doing all your thing, and Bazo eventually started to, you understand?
Right.
And again, because of the management we had, yes, and we had, again, as I started my first song, imagine, my first sound system, we had management.
Right.
So, as I say, I can't give anybody wrong for saying, okay, this is what you want to do, this is what, but there must come a point in time where you tell yourself, okay, am I selling myself short here? Is this really going to benefit me in the long run by continuing to do this? Or should I just set a standard from now and tell myself, okay, yeah, yes, I understand. The promoter might be my friend. I understand. I want to make a name for myself. But nothing wrong with still saying, hey, I think I need to
be compensated.
There's my price. Yeah. There's
be
my
compensated.
price.
Yeah.
Well, not compensated, but this is what I'm willing to bring to your event. This is what I'm willing to do. This is how, I know you want to have me in your event. Yes, you don't want to have me, fine, cool, but I think I could benefit the event by having me.
But I think the reason why a lot of DJs, and I say DJs, cannot even go and say young DJs, because there are a lot of DJs that do it.
No, it's not even young DJs alone. So.
Yes, there are young DJs. I think it's a balance between networking and understanding your net worth, right?
Yeah.
And I think people don't generally understand the net worth, and they don't understand seeing the long-term growth of music in terms of being a DJ as a long-term business. Because I do believe that there are people out there that, as Just Jay was saying earlier this week, you get starstruck and you see all these different things happening and you're excited to be part of this entertainment arena. But when the investment of the money starts to come in, you buy the laptop, you buy the headphones, you buy this, you buy that, you buy the other, and you start to have, you need to invest into your craft at some point in time.
At some point in time. As I just saw Marcus commented, you're doing it for a hobby or you're doing it for a living.
I think that is the difference between what and why some of you guys, which we've spoken to, we deal with this topic because you all had a vision of what you wanted to do with entertainment. And that vision was something that was meant to go in the long run. So it goes back to a conversation I was having. I don't know if she's here tonight, but I know she had tuned in earlier before. That is Nariba from Zale. In terms of understanding what is your long-term goal of what you're doing, and you have to understand yourself. So the next thing that we want to actually impact on people, I guess, based on what you're saying, is that you have to know yourself, and you have to understand why you're doing what you're doing. You understand? Because if it is that you're just doing it for the hype and the pump and whatever, then at the end of the day, it's just as you rightly say, do it for a hobby to get pips, but not doing it for long-term business.
A lot of, and not even just the younger DJs, because I don't want this to be direct, because a lot of people would say, Assassin, you're attacking the young DJs and this and that. No. Listen, I, for one, and if you know me personally, whether you know me or don't know me, you would know that I am an advocate for the young DJs, especially the ones that take the craft seriously.
And I just said that.
Taking the craft seriously, I am all for that.
I just said that. So wait to hold for a second, because again, my countdown, so we have to So we were just talking about understanding your networking and balancing that with your net worth, right? And as I said at the beginning of the conversation, you guys, you have yourself have been part of, so now we could say you've been part of 3 of the most influential entertainment entities in Trinidad and Tobago in a long time, which was Radioactive, which at that point in time, as I say, Hoppy was starting to mature out of the DJ realm and go into promotion.
So different promotion.
Associate Degree, who, as I said to me in the 2010s, was probably the most influential entertainment group at that point in time because of the the trends that they set and some of the foresight that Akil had brought forth and everybody. And
big up to Akil.
I know. I want to actually make this point because before I ask you how the formation of Artiste Team came about, for anybody that doesn't know, of everybody from who was from Associate Degree right now, if you could count down the people that are still heavily involved in entertainment, it's yourself, Ding Dong, so now Ding Dong, Viking Ding Dong. Who else from Associate Degree we could count there as well? Akil, of course, as
Akil, I think Gilligan is still on radio as well.
Gilligan is still on radio, right? And who else? And then to me, even though there was the core group of Associate Degree, there were a lot of guys who were involved in Associate Degree, like Spartan.
Spartan was part of it, and he's still involved.
Right, Marcus X-Base was here as well tonight. So,
but they were extended. They were like extended. Him and Stefan were extended family of Associate Degree. They had their own.
So I was saying that Associate Degree was still the door for so much talent that is still now extremely relevant to the conversation of entertainment in Trinidad and Tobago. Because for example, people who don't know, Marcus, who is, to me, again, an extremely talented DJ, Machel Road DJ, Problem Child DJ, and he was the guy that actually was doing the campaign for the Marshall Monday concert for how many ever years. So my point is that all these people in time came out from that associate degree era, and a lot of people won't know that. And that's why for me it's important to tell these stories so that when people sit down and see you guys, they understand what is the work that went into getting to the point where it is that we've gotten to, because everybody have a story.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So that's why I was talking about, again, knowing your worth and understanding, you know, where you want to be, instead of just, I mean, so if you want to do it for a hobby, all well and good.
Right.
But make up your mind that this is what you're going to do for a hobby, and tell yourself, okay, I'm going to do this for a hobby. Make up your mind.
So I want to make sure and get all the questions in that we are getting. So in the shortest possible time, I have 2 questions I'll ask you. Let me see if you give me the shortest possible answer. Who were the initial guys that formed the Artiste Team? And what was the purpose for forming the Artiste Team?
Okay. All right. From associate degree, as I said, the growth there for me was like the biggest. That was like, I started to evolve as a DJ. I started coming down to the end of associate degree. That era when we eventually split up and everybody started doing their own thing. The reason why is because the entity started to become personal. Like when I say personal, everybody started to become their own image, and it wasn't really about the sound system anymore. You started to realize that it's like a lot to do with like the R&B groups or whatever, big singing groups. Or everybody is going to a point where who was the Justin Timberlake in associate degree then? That leave only one bad. My name was Justin.
Alright, so we know the situation.
Right. But you understand, it wasn't anything bad, you know. It was just that, and for me, as I say again, evolve. I started to evolve back away from the sound system DJ now. I started to become a more professional DJ. Because again, you would know the sound system juggling was about pace and speed, and it was like, again, we wouldn't really get to play around with too much different genres of music. It was like hip hop, dancehall, maybe soca, and that was it. You know, the punches, and that was it. Reggae, that was it. So now I started to tap into more back to the mixing, right? Well, obviously, we didn't talk about it, but I started to evolve with scratching and everything back in that time. Around this time, I actually started to take this a lot more serious now with scratching and learning to actually scratch more and be a lot more creative with mixing and everything. And I would say, again, in those times, and as you say about being an influential person in the sound system era now, or even in the DJ era now, I actually started to evolve to, in those times you wouldn't hear sound system DJs mixing from hip-hop to dancehall to soca seamless. They were always, and you would notice, it was always like a stop or like a pause. They would play a dancehall segment, pause, Mike Man would talk. And what Akil and I started doing now, coming to the end, is like everything was like a flow. So it was like one whole set without stopping the music. That's how we started doing. And nobody in the sound system era was doing that in them time. Nobody was doing that. So again, that's something that we actually started doing, like the juggling. Why the whole juggling set became seamless. Everything would mix into everything. So that's what it was about now. So with that now, with the growth, Akil became a bigger personality, and he was like, you know, Akil was like superstar, then turned into 5-star. Akil turned into 5-star.
5-star.
Yeah, of course. So, and then again, this is nothing bad, but this is evolving. This is the growth. I'm showing you what happened. You know, so from there I started to evolve as well. Everybody that happened, and we were on our own. The radio station decided to keep me there and give me my own shifts. And around that time is when, I always knew about, as I say, Marcus and Stefan, and they coming up, which is Loud and Bashi and Marcus. They were coming up in them time because they were from St. James to around that, and everybody was wrong, and everybody was wrong. So they were like the, in them time, they would have been like the little associate degree. They were like always around us, and you know, they learned a lot from being around us, and as you say. So I remember we always remained cool. And as you say that again, a quick story about Bashi. I remember the first time, the first conversation I had with Bashi, he was like, I don't like you.
Weird.
I'm like, why you don't like me, dog? He was like, because you come and take Gilligan's spot, boy. You take Gilligan's spot. I don't like you, boy. You like it.
I didn't want to touch that point. I didn't want to touch that point because for everybody who know, for everybody who, if you didn't know, at the beginning of associate degree, it was Killer Miller, aka 5-Star Akil, and Gilligan. And everybody remember Akil and Gilligan. Out comes now this fella, Assassin Singh, and he basically, Assassin basically came and he walked on the team and Gilligan went on the bench. Right? So when it is now LeBron,
pick up the Gilligan is still my brother, boy. That's still my dog.
Yeah, but you take the man's spot. That is just the unfortunate. Yeah, you take the man's spot.
Put it that way. I mean,
yeah, we didn't put it that way, but yeah.
But Stefan was like, she was like, yo, I don't like you, boy. And you do a photo shoot there, and you got your hat pulled down low and feel like you're a thing. Yeah, I mean, and from then, I mean, all of us remain cool. As I say, when Aki and I would go events in South Marcus, and they would be there, and they would, most of the time, sometimes they would just come, and they would come to be around to learn and pick up on, you know, what's going on. And as I say, they started to evolve too. They started to do their own thing. Everybody was good. So when this happened now and everybody was on their own, they already had their song system called X-Base, and they were doing their own thing, and I was basically still on my own. I used to juggle and go parties and play. And they had who else was the start? Right, Digans. Christian Digans. Digans now, right? He and Tiger XPD, if you know. For those of y'all who don't know Tiger XPD, super producer Tiger XPD, but he's a lazy. He would start doing stuff, and he's very talented fella. He would produce stuff, you know that. He would produce things real bad. Yeah, boy, Rondell is bad. Rondell finished the track.
Yeah.
Rondell finished the track.
Yeah.
Anyway, big up to Rondell. Yeah, but yeah, so it was that, and then my brother was part of it. My brother, he continued playing music as well, DJ Tech, and he was like always on his own. He was never in any sound system. He was on his own. So it was him, myself, and Spartan. We had our own thing going on. So it was that one clip. Then it had X-Bass, it had Speedy and the Gans, and we basically just realized that, you know what, out of, because all the other song systems, which have been the bigger song systems, which have been the radioactive, and they were phased out more or less, associate degree, and they phased out, and we realized the DJ thing started to evolve again. It was like a song system, but not a song system, if you understand what I mean. So it's like, okay, this something here could work, because we realized that the clips that I just called, which would have been myself, Spartan, Tech, the Gan, Speedy, X-Base, somehow we always ended up in an event. We always ended up playing in the same events.
I remember Marcus telling me this one time.
Yeah, we always ended up in the same events, and we were like, okay, it's best we just do something together. And it's like, you know, we end up having a meeting a day and just pull together everybody, because everybody was still cool. Everybody was real good. We used to go on lime all over the place, sit down, drink, talk shit. And we decided, hey, maybe we could bring this thing back, but in a more evolved way.
Right.
Do things, different things that, I mean, some used to do, but in a revolutionize the whole thing and bring it back, but more, you know, with a little more flair to it.
Right.
And that's what we did. We tried it, and we started to do, I mean, a lot of different things that we started to do after. So basically that was it, and we just hit it off there and continue.
So I want to ask you a question.
So,
because
I mean, big up to the whole crew, the whole team. I mean, everybody has their part. Everybody DJs, MCs.
Do you think that there's a greater sense of unity now, or was it more back then?
Nah, I think back then it was different. Apart from, because yeah, those guys would have been heavy into the song clash era in those days. And when they go on the stage, let me say, fully loaded 45 shot block, or they go to an event just to play, they would play their dub plates, because dub plates was the thing in them time. They would play the dub plates, talk about each other, say whatever, but I think they were all, the unity would have been like, you used to feel it in them time. It was different. It was a different, yes, the competition would have been there, but it was different. I think now, I think it's feel different because I think everybody more kind of like on self now. And when I say self, I mean like, you know, you can't blame anybody for that. I'm not giving anybody wrong for that. I'm not saying you're wrong. Everybody had to do what they had to do. But as when you talk about the unity, I don't think the unity there. I think the energy is a whole different energy. Like, is like I feel it. And as I say, as you said, from me being around in those times with those guys to now, and I'm not saying this to and nobody in particular, but the energy is a different energy now.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know. I can't pinpoint why.
It is kind of odd because, like, as you said, I'll just get a little story on that. For example, when I now started doing mixes, Marcus was actually a person that used to help do all my drops from Kimberly, God rest her soul, right? But when Kimberly used to record it, I would just call Marcus and he'd say, yeah, artist, just let her come and record or produce it and set it here one time. And it's just that kind of unity amongst people over a particular period of time. And even before I started working radio, I always had that kind of relationship with Marcus because of, I guess, because of how we came up now. But now, I don't know if it's because of the social media generation where there's this need now to be as popular as you want to be, or as popular as the other guy, that we now find it where individuals are taking that competition, that competitive nature amongst people a little bit more seriously. And there is not as much unity as there was before. Do you think it's a social media thing? Do you think it's a economics thing? Like people just want to make the amount of money they want to make? What do you think it is?
I think it's a bit of both. I think it's a lot of factors with that. I think is as you say, money. Some people might watch, okay, this one making more money than me. And the main thing is I think it just get a little more personal now. As I say, it just get personal. Yeah. Before with the clash, as I say, nobody will still talk and say this one, but this one I say this one child, but then that one and talk. But at the end of the day, everybody go and hug up and everybody sit on the line and talk with everybody. Right. No, when things like that happen, you go on radio and you talk about somebody thing and everybody want to take it and it's a war and this way you're passing this one straight and nobody talking to that person and this and that, and it's petty. Most of the times it's petty stuff. It's real petty stuff, you know, it's real. Come on, it's something that you do. I mean, yes, it's a competition and yes, everybody doing the same thing. But and we saw from in those times, and I don't think anything changed that drastic to say that it can't happen now. They have room for everybody. Everybody can eat. And which brings me back to the knowing your worth and charging your worth and at least trying to charge your worth. Yeah. It have for everybody. Everybody will have their corner. Everybody will obviously have their fans. And again, social media has a lot to do with building fans and marketing, and you know, big up to everybody that took advantage of the social media and took, you know, but they have for everybody. You don't need to try to say, okay, yeah, I don't like this person because they're doing something I doing, and come on. So I want to actually follow up with that, right? You just made the point and you said that in your mind there is a space for everybody, right? Yeah. But again, remember, I'll take devil's advocate role. We live now in a post or COVID getting world where resources are going to become less, money for events may become less,
the money that a promoter would have had to be able to play with to do an event before, they may not have that now. Do you see that impacting the DJ industry going forward?
Yeah.
Right.
It will. It will. It will a lot, and it already has.
Yeah.
I mean, I say you could see, all right, and I mean, it's difficult now to really say what's going to happen in the next 6-7 months of the year.
Right.
We don't know. We can't say. We don't know because we can't say when. I mean, for the ones who regularly playing in clubs, the ones who traveling, we don't know when the borders going to open back. We don't know when the world going to be on a certain level of normal again, when you can travel and go and play outside. We don't know when gatherings here will be able to be allowed. A lot of people looking at this weekend coming here and say, okay, yeah, things going to go back to normal. No, it's not.
So
let's be real.
You've already mentally prepared yourself.
Of course.
And I'm making this point for everybody in entertainment in the conversation. And I just want to remind everybody that next week we looking to have the one-on-one about the psychology of nightlife. And have you already mentally prepared yourself that things are definitely not going to be going back to normal and there's a new normal to come into play?
There is a new normal from the start. We have said this. We have known. I mean, and like big up to the DJs and the entertainers and everybody who in this end, because this is what it's about. It's our world. It's our entertainment world. So I'm not going into anybody else's world. But in our entertainment world, the ones that actually looking forward to something different and trying to, obviously we have to branch out into something. It may not be, you know, it could be something good in entertainment, but you have to look at something different right now. So again, ones that actually, all right, the ones that, and I would talk about this and I would say this because I saw it come up and I remember who was commenting about it. Somebody said it just now and I'm going to say it. The ones that just doing the live streams and going on Instagram live and you're just DJing live and you just want to go on DJ live. You're going on your DJ live, okay, fine. But what you're really trying to achieve from going on live? What is it? What you're just going because you're bored, you have nothing to do, or you feel like you're going to stay relevant after?
Yeah.
Like I was thinking about all of that because I have not done a live yet.
And this is the same point that Just Jay was making on Tuesday. Because that's why he said that he didn't go live. And funny enough, in a total contrast to that, in talking to Kevin Crown Monday, he does a live every day. But when we had that discussion with Kevin Crown, and for everybody who wants to see it, it will be up on YouTube by next week. Kevin Crown took a particular level of professionalism to doing the online streaming.
That's my next point.
You can literally feel like Instagram is Kevin Crown's radio station. So he has taken that to a particular direction.
And that brings me to the point where, okay, for me, maybe it's a little different because I still on radio every day. I still work on radio every day. So it's a little different for me, you know, whereas I still have that. I can still display and still give out. It's difficult right now as DJs. We home and you're itching and you want to play and you want to show it, you know. So for me on the radio, I have that. But I still, and again, this was I had a big up Marcus on this one. Going way back to the days again when I now started learning to play music, I have not had a DJ setup in my bedroom or anywhere since those times. That was since year 2000. I've not had it. Right. When this whole thing started, Marcus was like, hey, here we're going. Then we started to do some stuff. We take the players, take the mixer, and just started run out mixes, do mixes. Whenever you have time, just do shit.
And you know, funny, cool. Funny enough, as I told somebody the other day that even if it is that you don't start off getting the amount of downloads that you want or the amount of people listening to it, if we use the Private Ryan model, I am quite certain that when Private Ryan did the first Soca Brainwash, there was probably like 10 people that listened to it, right? But because of consistency and understanding why he was doing what he was doing, Soca Brainwash right now is not just a mixtape, it's a brand.
It's a brand.
And that's why I think that also too that a lot of times you could never not look at the power of having content. And if a guy has 10 mixes and let me just say somebody wants to book you for an event and they have no point of reference. If they have a mix, they just have a mix. If they have 10 mixes, they have a mix. So they're seeing some consistency in what it is they're doing. And I guess Artiste Team, Private Ryan, I'll probably put myself in at a couple other fellas. There's a consistency in putting on mixtapes and understanding that, okay, I don't have to go live, but there are other things quality. I could do. There are other things of quality I could do at this point in time to be able to keep people interested into my brand and also to keep my brand fresh with individuals as well. This is probably one of the most important questions for you tonight, that you need to say true or false, right? Cool? Yes? Right.
Yeah, go true.
Multiple reports have surfaced from feds over the last couple of years that working with Machel Montano, while being an extremely good opportunity, is also a challenge because he is someone that deems perfection from performance. So can you confirm, Assassin Singh, that on numerous occasions you have been verbally accosted by Mr. Montano for not dropping a song in the timing or in the rotation that was produced?
On and off the stage. And I mean, like, for the ones who know, and I mean, obviously off the stage in the crowd, you wouldn't really know what really going on, or you could tell what's going on. But yes, there were moments when communication has had a big part to do with that. You know, there's a lot of factors that, and yes, he's very difficult to work with, you know, and he demands probably way more than perfection.
Right.
And from working with him, I can tell you that.
But do you guys do like rehearse sets? Do you rehearse with the band or understand how the band plays? Or do you and him do rehearse sets before the season starts?
We do. Okay, there's no rehearse set. We sit with Marcus, and we do a stem set, which is we build the set for the season ahead.
Right.
We go through these stems and put it together with him, myself, and Marcus, three of us. We sit down space and sit down, and we do that for like basically almost half a day, like 12 hours.
Right.
Sit down and go through all the songs, build the stems for it, build the set for it, and that most times is the practice session for the season. Before the show, sometimes we might change something after, while the show going on, something might change. But the guys who in here who are DJs, who ever DJed for artists before, any artist, I can tell you, DJing for any other artist and DJing for Machel Montano is...
it's chalk and cheese. It's chalk and cheese.
Yeah, and nobody can say no. Nobody can say. So yes, there have been times when, again, communication, sometimes, I mean, nerves, yes, everybody I get nervous still.
So in that vein, what would be the last show? And let me stick it to soca because I want to jump to that just now. What would be the last show that you probably did with Machel that you were extremely nervous and that probably caused a mix-up in communication and anxiety, make you drop the wrong stem, and he took that in particular has not happened in. When you say that particular, when you know, say that particular situation has not happened in probably like about 2 years. Right.
Any other miscommunication between him and I would have been something that has not been entirely my fault. Like, I don't want to go into much details with that.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
But something happened that was beyond my control, and it just spiraled out of, again, a lot of emotion and a lot of things, and it was more than it should have been. But I would say probably about a year or two, nerves had a lot to do with that, because, and I would say this, I think it would have been probably about 4 years that I've actually been with him and doing stuff with him, and I would always say, I would tell everybody that I have learned a lot from
about the industry. Yeah,
of course, not only DJ wise, but industry, and just being a different professional and being, you know, from that experience. I've been to a lot of countries. I've toured a lot of places with him. So apart from that, it has been quite the experience where I've gained a lot. I don't think that, and a lot of people would say, and something that, and a lot of people again don't know, like from the stage as a party goer, as a patron, as a DJ, and you're just watching from the side, and you might watch, yes, he might cuss and he might reel up and he might flare his hands or whatever. But most of the time, when it's done, all said and done, we would go in the back in the dressing room and sit down, we would talk about it and say, okay, yeah, thing, and we would talk about it, and we would, you know, we had like a certain level of chemistry where, okay, there's what it is. And,
yeah,
you know, so, and something that he always said to me was like, he was like, because he, for one, would always, afterwards, sometimes it would happen, he would be the first one to laugh at it in the background. I'm not just saying this. When we go in just he would sit down and laugh, and he was like, "Oh, that no real men gonna come and tell you get cuss on stage." he always said,
yeah.
He was like, "Don't study them. Them is the men that want your job. Don't study them. Them is the same men will come and stand up here and take just so and stand up here and take cuss the same way and walk off and go. And guess what? They have no money in their pocket. And guess what? They're not getting nothing out of it. So don't study them." No, and this real talk. Again, real. We unreal here. This is what he would say. He would always say that. He was like, them is the same men that want to come and stand up here and take us and get your job. So you don't study them. You do what you have to do. So
I get that.
You understand?
I get it.
That's how he was. That's the kind of person. That's the personality that he has as an individual and as a professional.
I want to make sure I try to get to some of the questions I'm seeing here, right? Mm-hmm. So let me see if I can bring up some, because I saw one earlier that I have myself wanted to. Right. So I'm gonna start with. Let me start with friends of friends, right? Which is
look, you
explain
see?
the importance. Explain. Explain and before I continue too as well, I see Hyper in the chat as well. So he not saying about take your cuss and make your money. But anyhow. Explain the importance of knowing your role as a DJ in an event.
Oh, this brings me back again. As Hyper is here, this brings me back again to the days of starting playing in bass. You have to know, okay, let me just summarize. Let me sum it down to 3 DJs in an event. Let me just say 3 DJs, right? We're not going past that. 3 DJs. The first DJ would start the event with when the doors open, let me say 9 to 11 p.m.
Right.
9 to 10, 9 to 11. We get 2 hours, 9 to 11. Second DJ, 1 to 2:30. And the next last DJ will be the closing DJ, right? Right. Now, we all know that, obviously, the prime time of the party would be somewhere between, let's say, 11:30, push it to 11, let me say 11:30, 12 till probably 2:30, right? Maybe push it back to 3. That's the prime time where everybody is more or less in the party. The majority of the crowd that comes to a party would be there at a certain time, which will most likely be that time of the event. Right? Not only people that just come late, not only people that just come early. We're talking about the majority of the crowd, but some people would filter, would leave, some people would, right? At that time. Yeah. Now, there are hits, there are songs that obviously, and this again where I know this conversation would start up another hour, where radio obviously would influence a lot of the music that playing even now and even then. Still the same. Radio has a big influence with the hits that plays in an event or whatever. Or what people will go and listen to, pull it up and, well, past that. We're trying to keep it short, right? Right. So the hits, let's just summarize it. The hits would play at that time of the event. You would expect, the people would obviously expect with the recurrence, but people would be expecting to hear what they would want to hear at that time. At that time. More than likely is the hits they want to hear. So now, which leaves you as the start of the party and the end of the party. I forget the prime time. We don't deal with our prime time already. Forget that. So the start of the party is where people now walking in the party. You know, everybody go by the bar, get a drink, they socialize, they whatever. Right? Why, as a DJ, why would you feel that it is necessary when you should know as a DJ at the slot after you, if you are playing at the start, the slot after you is obviously the slot of the party where the same hits that you would want to come and play at the start, because I am me, and I as a big DJ, and I feel like, right, people come to see me, but I'm starting off the party and I need to play these songs when they're coming in. Why would you feel like that is necessary when there are so much music is unlimited?
Yeah.
You know, and I feel at the start of an event is where sometimes it's probably, some people might beg to differ and say the ending of the party is the hardest.
No, I think starting is party, and not just the hardest,
the ultimate task,
and not just the ultimate task, but I will say, and to all the DJs that here tonight, and especially DJs who are experienced, everybody would understand that if you could successfully start the event in a proper way, sometimes you get more props than the primetime DJs.
Let's say the selfishness.
Listen, I don't address that. Why I would say this, I would say that everybody is trying to utilize the position to promote the self. So remember, we were just talking about self, right?
Self. This is what I said, self.
But sometimes promoting yourself means understanding your role. And I can promote myself properly if I play my role very well. So if I come in an event and I play early and I set the tone for the event for everybody else to come on after, there are going to be multiple people who are going to come to the event to remember that, yo, this guy start playing real decent music.
Listen,
and, you know?
People always like difference. And this is something that has not changed from the song system era when I started playing to now. This is something that has not changed. When you think that the average party goer, the normal person that just come in a party, you might think they don't know about mixing, and you might think they don't know about songs, and you might think they don't know what a shit mix is, or you might think you're playing the best. But listen to me. Take my advice. They know. And they will know when they hear a song that they have not heard in a long time, when they hear it put together in a certain way and put together with something, they know. So when you go a party and you start a party and you, now I'm not saying this for DJs to start saying, okay, yeah, but I go to a party to just start to play different music and it's wild out of the box. No, that's not what I'm saying. Know your crowd. Obviously, it has a lot to do with your crowd. So you're not just going to just start a party and play whoever you feel to play because right. Yes, it has a lot to do with your mood. Music has a lot to do with your mood. Especially DJ, we're not talking about the MC. DJing is your mood. So you might want to play a song and feel like, okay, yeah, I want to play a song, just a playing it safe. But will it really relate to the, let me say, if the party is 300 people, if it's 300 people you're expecting to have any party, would it cater to the 50 people that are going to be there or the 75 people that are going to be there from 9 to 10 p.m. or 10:30 p.m.? Would it really, would this song I play, would really, you know? So there's a lot to do, and I think a lot of the DJs now not actually putting in effort in their selections. So
with that, I want to say, so we can move on to our next one, that at the end of the day, you would win over any promoter by playing your role faster than trying to sell yourself outside the room. Of course.
You can have the biggest social media presence.
Yeah.
You can have 100,000 followers, and the promoter put you to play at the start of the event. You can okay, yeah, at least how much people come in will say, right, you have 100,000, but they come in to hear you play, and you come and you shit down yourself, and you're not just shitting down yourself for the promoter, but you shitting down yourself for the party. And obviously the people going to come and tell the promoter and complain to the promoter and be like, oh God, yeah boy, why this man playing these songs at this time? And then,
correct.
You understand? And then you never get back that job again.
Correct. That's correct. All right, so next one, which is a question I had for you as well, which coming from Jaden saying, do you ever get tired of radio after so many years? Which is a good question. Because I know why it's a good question. I'll tell you why it's a good question. And I'll give you a personal story because, again, it's a conversation we're having. One of the reasons why I left radio at the point in time when I did was because I had to make a choice between finishing my master's, working, and radio at the point in time. And to me, especially some of the conversations I had with people in the station, which I wouldn't get to, it was becoming really heavy on me to continue doing all that at the same point in time. And I remember having this conversation with some of the guys who doing radio so long, Clyde the Outlaw, and some of the other fellas, and just asking them generally, like, how do you keep yourself motivated in radio? So I really agree with this question that do you have yourself
I love that
tired of playing on radio after all this time?
Tired is not the word. Tired would not be the word, because I would say outright no. If that was the case, I would have come off radio a long time.
Right.
I still work, well, most times. I know Bashi and I'm probably Bashi and Marcus will be saying, I'm still hired to work 6 days on radio.
Right.
So, which is Monday to Saturday. Right. That's 6 days out of 7 days of yes. 6 days on radio.
Right.
And tired is not the word. I think keeping yourself motivated for radio is a difficult thing, as any radio DJ would tell you, because especially in the format that we have at our radio station, where even now more than ever is a little more controlled now, and everything is a certain way. So it's difficult to basically come like a Hot 97 in New York, where you're basically playing the same hits every day with a little plurant and whatever. So it's basically hearing the same thing, drilling every day.
Yeah.
But what has kept me excited about it is the fact that I could change the mixes of it every day. I could do different mixes and pull back songs here and play this here. And I like the fact that even more now, like, I love the motivation that I get from people just listening, people messaging and be like, hey, yeah, boy, you had the radio on fire today. Oh, yeah, boy, you mash up today. Or just a simple message. And from sometimes not even from the younger DJs, a lot of people might be like, Sing, I ain't gonna lie, I just rarely look up to you on radio, I just rarely listen to you on radio.
Yeah.
You understand? And that has kept me like, yeah, boy, I look forward to actually going and you know, some days it is a task, because as I was saying, with music is a mood. So sometimes there are other things going on in your personal life too, and radio DJs and announcers go through it. You may not feel to come to work, or you may not feel to work, or you might go and you might just have a cruise day. And I've seen, and I have, like, on my cruise day, what I think would be a cruise day for me, where I just go to the radio and I just cruise through the shift, and it just happened because it's like, well, I don't want to say how much years on radio now, because again, 15 years, about 15 years, right? It's about 15 years.
Right.
It had many days. Still happens when I go and I just cruise. And those are the days when people will be like, the radio boy. Thing, that kind, you understand? That kind of thing. And
so I think it's safe to say that those cruise days, when you probably go unmotivated, but you actually play a set that had people really into it. Those are the days that actually keep you motivated to go smoke.
It might just be one segment. It might just be, you know, like at Bashi and I would say, no, first we reach inside as we start the shift. You feel musical today? That's our thing.
Yeah.
You feel musical today?
Yeah.
You know, one of us might say yeah, one of us might say no, but we would still go and, you know, we would do what we have to do, because again, it's not about us. It's not about us. It's about, you know, entertainment, and radio is and I would say I still love working on radio. I love working on radio. Like,
I get that.
And it's not just for me. Like, I love being able to be creative still, and, you know, and just create that vibe and still have the freedom of doing that.
I get that. All right.
You know?
So I have a question I'm going to ask here. And it's not my question. It's a question that came up in the chat. I want to remind anybody, if you have any questions that you want to ask, you can just click the question mark icon and put it in the comments. If you don't want to be identified in the questions, you can send me a direct message at Shomari KRL on Instagram. And the reason why I preface saying this is because tonight, for everybody that's here, all the non-DJs or all the creatives or all the younger DJs that are just listening, we're extremely fortunate and blessed to have many DJs in the group tonight. So I see Gonzo, I see Cardo back to basics.
Remember, I know
I see the Artiste Team, the whole Artiste Team here. So when I ask this question, I expect as I see my boy Carbon here as well too.
Yeah, Carbon. Bless up.
When I ask this next question, because again, we started back at 9:30, we're going at 10:16. So one, I'm going to ask you from now, if you're willing to go extra 15 minutes after 10:30 so we can finish off. Because I have two more questions I want to ask you. And two, I'm totally aware that this question is going to cause what is not controversy, but it's going to have a lot of opinion in it, right? Okay. So let me make sure I'm bringing it up because it coming straight from DJ. It's from the Gans themselves. Yes, sir. Hold on. Let me find it. Is it from the Gans? Hold on, huh? Let me see if I can find the question properly because I just saw it and I want to be able to bring it up properly because I said that and that. Right. Here we go. Right? Good. So, do you think there should be a DJ union setting industry prices for DJ sets?
Gans, who is that, boy?
This is going to be interesting.
You know.
This is going to be interesting.
I don't think I'm a team.
This is going to be interesting. And before you give the answer, last week when I had this conversation with Selector Kerry, I brought up this question about having a DJ union. And it's something that I've discussed as well with Chacha. I also used to have that conversation with Carbon, who I see blocking his face right now. So I think a DJ union has been the elephant in the room that all DJs have spoken about in some way or the other. But for whatever reason, it's an extremely polarizing issue. And depending on who you talk to, is depending on the answer that you'll give. So big up the Gans for the question because he brings the most controversial question to the floor. So Assassin Singh,
I know why you do that.
Should there be a DJ union setting the standard for prices for DJs?
No, a DJ union would not only mean setting it for prices alone.
Correct. That's the first
and
thing.
That is where, again, it all comes down to mindset and being mature enough to understand that a DJ union, and I'm saying this again, a DJ union would not only mean, okay, yeah, boy, them fellas say $3,000 for a dance, nobody else can charge $3,000 for a dance because it's $3,000, that is what it's set as. We're not saying that it's just for price alone. It comes down to standard.
Right.
It comes down to just setting a standard and bringing back, and again, I don't know if he's still here. I don't know if he's still here, but big up to Hyper. These guys, big up to Jugglers. These guys who set the standard, big up to Akil. These guys who set the standard, and it's not because they didn't have competition or they didn't have anybody else around.
Right.
These were men that stuck to, as I said, you don't think that the promoters that were hiring them weren't their friends too?
Right.
But their friends was paying them. If Uppy say boom, if Akil say boom, and Akil was one man, everybody who know Akil would know that is one thing you don't play with was he cream.
I have to big up Marcus for a vain self-plug here. Because I saw Marcus earlier say he never walk away from a Redymix DMT red, white, and water without getting paid. So I'll take that. I will take that.
All right. And again, right.
Yeah.
Which brings me even now, coming into now, big up my boy Ryan, Private Ryan.
Right.
Ryan throws probably the biggest soca event apart from Machel Monday, right? Nowhere you would go. Ryan would say, and Ryan is DJ, and Ryan would say, Ryan would carry me places with him to go on MC, and we didn't talk about that, but I mean, some people asking about MCing, right?
Right.
Ryan would carry me places, I would go on MC with him, and Ryan would say, sing, here's the thing, and everything structured.
Right.
So, it's not because it's a friend thing. So the DJ union would not only mean money. It just means setting a standard and having the similar, how to put it? All right. Everybody on the same page.
But then, because again, I'm playing devil's advocate here, going back to something I saw Back to Basics said earlier, if we bring up a DJ union, and the first thing people are talking about is pay, then that means that pay should match the skill, correct?
Which is correct, yes. Which is correct. Obviously, okay, that is a very good point. Because a DJ union now would make sure that everybody would have to be on the same page. No, I'm not saying that it would be a DJ unit. It would be a whole monopoly where to get into the circle, you would have to be at a certain level. You would have to be a friend of this one or a friend of that one or a friend of that one. But it would just be to make sure everybody could be in it. But it comes back again to unity and the energy. If you see a man and you know that he need help here and you know that he need help with learning to mix or select or whatever, nothing wrong with talking to somebody and pulling them up and saying, you know, but again, everybody have to be willing and in the same maturity level to say, okay, and accept constructive criticism is not coming from a bad place. Somebody say, well, hey, I feel like you could do better this way, or you could do better. Let me just work on something, or work on this, or work on that. And then, you know, I feel, it's not a certain person telling you that feel that they're better than you, or feel that they can charge more than you. It's just for everybody to be on the same level. And I don't see why everybody can't be on the same level.
But then, all right, so
yes, some people don't have more talent, or some people have more natural talent than others. But there should be a level of standard where we could say, okay, I feel like we could have a level of standard where we could say, okay, this is the benchmark, and we're not going to mess with the benchmark.
Right.
Reach to the benchmark or don't reach to the benchmark.
Right.
It's up to you if you want to reach to the benchmark or not.
But again, as I go back to the point I was telling you, and this is a conversation I was having with a guy last week, a DJ last week. I'm not going to call his name because I know it's not already about that. And he was saying that part of what he did in terms of doing some of the events that he did for no money, the way he looked at it was an investment of his time. That's what he said, right? No,
wow.
I laugh. I'm laughing, but no, we're being serious here. Like, we're being serious here. And to all the DJs who in the chat, that is really what we're trying to accomplish by having these conversations. We're trying to accomplish this because there are multiple people looking at us. And I go and say this seriously, you know. There are many people that look at us, look at Assassin, look at any DJ that you could think of. And there are people who look up at us as somebody who they might earmark to be. And they might think to themselves, yo, I want to be on radio. I want to be playing in the biggest events in the country. I want to play in front of 5,000 people or 500 people. I want to play in all the boat rides, whatever, etc., so on and so forth, right? But if they don't understand the sacrifice and the commitment that comes with doing something like this, you're going to be star-studded, but at the same point in time, you're not going to be able to translate that into a long-term career. And I've been saying since I started doing these group theory lives. And it's not to bash anybody live. So if anybody doing live, I see somebody say we need to get our legs and pegs live. Yeah, stand if everybody doing a live with gear. No, I'm dead serious. Like, I am not hating on anybody. It was later, that's it.
That's our next thing, right? But go ahead.
I am not hating on anybody right now that doing a live, that getting following, that getting traction, whatever you're doing. Because if you've had a chance to look at some of the New York DJs like Young Chow, you would understand why I'd say that, right? So everybody on the hustle. But I've been telling people, anybody could entertain, but very few people can educate, right?
True.
And our duty and my duty is to try to educate people more about what we're doing here. Because people have to have a genuine understanding of what the industry, what is in the industry and what is the cause of the industry. So that's why I will go back and say that the live we had with Just Jay on Tuesday, I am working very hard to get our live on Sunday, on YouTube by Sunday. Because I think that was one of the most important lives that we did, because Just Jay was real and he was direct. And I have myself learned plenty from that. So everybody can entertain, but if you can educate, you'll make a difference. So that's why I say that us talking about this DJ union has been a topic that has been floated in the DJ world for years, but for whatever reason, there's never really get traction.
I think a lot of the DJs intimidated by it because they feel like they may not be up to the standard, or feel like, okay, I may not be able to make the union, or the union would just be a clique of.
Or do you feel that people are against the union because they feel that, as one guy was saying to me before, if a dude who doesn't have that particular level of experience from the union standards, getting the same amount of money that Just Jay or DJ Puffy getting, like, how could we you know, how could we justify that, you know? So I don't know if it is that it's more of you're not meeting the standard.
Well, again, the union would not be about that. The union should be not be. I mean, that's the focus of everybody. Yes, I know money is a big aspect. Everybody wants to make the business. Everybody want to make money off it. But that should not be the motivation for it.
Correct.
And again, they could tell you, the older DJs could tell you, before my time and all, they could tell you, yes, they probably used to get paid way more when they can't do the difference and do the work now and transfer the dollar now, and it would have been way more than we get it now. But I don't think that was their motivation. I don't think they were all for that. It wasn't like, okay, we're going to do this just for the money.
And I want to say this too. And first of all, Happy Brent Sancho is still a football icon in the country. So please behave. Oh gosh. Let me relax that. That is one. But two, to me, a DJ union doesn't just go towards getting paid, but also goes towards the standards of what DJs should expect when they go to events and what promoters should be able to give to DJs as well. And where it is that is a general standard for supplying a service in total. So that's why I say that there are a lot of conflicting entities that is going to affect actually having a DJ union. And I personally think that as much as it's something that a lot of people talk about, there are many egos that would probably not allow something like that to happen. I don't know. That's just my
yeah, but they need to start somewhere. And if it needs to start somewhere, it needs to start somewhere, whether it happens or not. But I don't see why a conversation can't happen.
Yeah.
I don't see why. Even if you say if it's the heads or whatever, who considered as the heads or whatever, come together and say, hey, let me start talking about this and let me see where it could leave the... Because I'll be real honest with you. I'll be real honest. And this is something blunt. I'm going to say blunt. Like, I don't feel there are much DJs right now, even the ones coming up, and if you like it or not, the ones coming up, I don't feel like they have the right... They don't understand the craft enough to know where to take it from here. And I don't feel like... I honestly don't feel it may be in good hands.
Now, as I've been saying, and I said this with Just Jay earlier in the week, and I'm going to say it in every single live that I have. These lives are never meant to be pitting mature or experienced DJs against younger DJs. We never about that. But what it's about is bringing a particular level of awareness to what people are doing, so that we can be able to influence the generation now, and even influence seasoned DJs who are around what we're doing right now, to be able to actually take what they're doing to the next level. And I'll use an example of what Kevin Crown was saying. Kevin Crown was saying that to him, playing with his peers is like playing with the NBA. So he said when he goes to a party and you have Assassin and Redymix and Private Ryan and all these guys, that is the NBA of DJing. So he wants to always be able to make the cut of the team. So for us, this is not really us coming after younger DJs, but it's just us identifying things that people could take in mind to be able to improve the craft, so they'll be part of the NBA team. And there's not a clique thing, it's just a matter of being able to boost your skills. So tell us why it is that you are concerned about the direction of the art form.
Again, this is why I feel like the DJ union would be effective with this. Because I feel like all right, it's like anything else. You learn something, you go to school to learn something. Let's see, you want to be a doctor. Don't you have to go through a certain process to be a doctor?
Right.
If you want to be a lawyer, you have to go through a fireman, a policeman, whatever it is. You have a certain level of training that you need to know, the basics that you need to know to be able to be considered or to be certified as the profession. Right? No, because again, and this is how I'm being serious, this is how I look at it, as this is, people don't look at it as like that. And I had a tweet up a few months ago that people don't understand the sacrifice that DJs and entertainers put out on a daily, nightly basis, or the sacrifices that we put out for this as a profession. There are a lot of people that don't see DJing, being a DJ, as a profession.
That is
whether
correct.
You're making money from it or not, people don't look at it as a profession. So for the ones that doing it as a hobby, would be the same way. They
Right.
won't look at it as a profession. They won't understand that, okay, I need to first understand where this whole thing come from and understand the craft, and at least learn the craft, or at least want to understand the craft first. And yes, there are basics that you need to know to be considered a decent DJ or a good DJ. It's not just you telling yourself, hey, yeah, I'm a good DJ, or 5 people that are around you who don't know shit about DJing telling you, yeah, boy, you're a good boy. No.
Yeah.
It's not about that. There are things that you need to know. That you know that as a DJ, there are things that you need to know. There are basics that you need to know to at least be considered a DJ. And this is where the DJ union will be, I think, will be effective.
But
So
then,
where everybody could just call themselves a DJ and say, yeah, it's a DJ because I have a laptop and I have a thing. And
but then the argument again, because remember I just going the argument against what you're saying, because we're trying to build discussion,
which is good,
right? The goalpost in terms of what is considered a DJ has moved drastically, and I'll give you a very good example. At one point in time, the standard was, let me just use an equipment example. The standard might have been, you have a proper pair of pioneers, you have a good working mixer. If you have a CD bag or a CD bag, if you don't call it that, if you have a laptop with whatever, but you have a proper setup, right? And before certain pieces of technology came into the picture, you had to understand mixing bars and beats. You had to understand what scratch work is to your set. As Kerry said, is not to be able to flare with, but it's supposed to complement your set. It's supposed to understand those things, right? So there's an understanding. Right. But now, technology has moved in a particular way where instead of having a whole rig, you could work with a controller, right? And then I've been seeing on different sites now where there are controllers that are coming out that basically you don't need a laptop. You might not even, I saw that, I think it's Roland, or if anybody inside here is aware of the equipment, I believe Roland or one of those companies released a new controller now that is battery operated. You don't need a laptop, you can plug in a flash drive, it's about sync button, and you just press, right? So my point is that as much as it is that I do agree to you that you need to have a particular understanding of the craft, technology now is kind of make it seem like, well, anybody could be a DJ. And that's not saying that anybody can't be a DJ. But I'll go back to something that Just Jay said on Tuesday, which I thought was very powerful, is that you have to live for what is designed for you and what you decide is for you. So just because somebody sees Assassin, that doesn't mean that you have to be the next Assassin, right? It means that you have to be the next you. You have to be you. And being you identifies that even though you love being a DJ or you love dabbling in DJing, that might not necessarily be for you. Yes, son. But so my point I'm trying to make is that technology now has probably put it in a light where everybody feels that they can be a DJ, and thus those same standards you're talking about, as I say, being a fireman. But being a fireman means you have standards and you have to go to a school. And everybody, and I'm sure to see a bunch of likes for this. There are a couple of people that we probably know that went to a DJ school and they still can't DJ. You understand? So my point the point I'm making is that at the end of the day, what then is the standard and how it is do we now create a standard for that, you know?
Understanding the craft is one thing. Ask yourself, why do you want to DJ? What is your purpose? And stick to that. If it's you want to get girls, you realize they hype on it and you want to do it just because of the hype. I want to do it because I really want and I really like it. I realize that I love doing it. And again, it comes down to like and love and whether you really could see yourself doing this in the future. Because a lot of people would say, yeah, boy, I like DJing. And again, when you ask me about being tired working on radio, no, because I'm doing the same thing that I love doing for the last 15 years.
Correct.
And I can't get tired of something that I love doing. So, as you say, is it really for me or is it really not for me?
Right.
And that's the only way you could tell if you want to further your craft or to be able to really understand what it is you're doing or not. because I being real honest, like no, I home and I think I playing around with all kind of different shit. I learning shit that I didn't even know how to do before. Right. I started back actually, and I work on radio every day where I could practice on radio basically, and have a lot of practice on radio. But I still was putting at least an hour and a half, 2 hours every day, still in the midst of other things to still just sit down and just practice, whether it be mixing, scratching, whatever it is, do mixes. You're still always learning.
Yeah.
You're always learning different things about it.
Yeah.
And the when you really realize to yourself, okay, this is what I want to do, is when you would ask yourself the question, do I really want to take this serious or not? If it's a hobby, then okay, obviously you can expect somebody to say, well, yeah, I want to really learn where this come from and learn the basics behind it, or, you know, actually master it, or get feedback. And feedback is another big thing, and good feedback.
Right.
And being able to take criticism, because that's an issue I have with, and again, I'm not directing this to young DJs or anybody, DJs on the whole. A lot of people don't know how to take criticism.
Yeah.
Whether it be good or bad. If somebody tell you you're shitty, don't just take it as somebody telling you you're shitty because you feel you're good. Ask yourself why. Yes, some people might just be negative or just be might hate, but still, why do they hate you? Why you feel like they hate you? Why you feel like they tell you you had a shitty set? Why you feel you had a bad set? Why you feel you had a good set? Why they tell you, yeah boy, you real play good? Some people will tell you, yeah boy, you real play good tonight. You might tell yourself, no, you didn't play good. Somebody else might tell you didn't play good.
Yeah.
So, you know, again, it's a lot. So, bring it back to the DJ union, it really have no way, you're right. So, it really have no way of setting an actual standard, but of setting what is right from wrong. But I mean, as individuals, we should know, okay, does this make sense or not?
Yeah.
Should I continue doing this when I know that this is not for me?
And I think too, people have to understand not just the good and the stars of that goes with the industry, but they also have to understand the other end of the challenges that go with it as well.
Yeah,
because to be a DJ in this time also means that you have to be an entrepreneur, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the truth and fact is now, with COVID getting happening, nobody's flying anywhere, no clubs are open, no parties are happening. The bottom line is that income that you would be getting, you're not getting that now. Yeah. And as I always remember a friend of mine telling me a long time ago that for him, DJing had no insurance policy. You understand? He could walk into an insurance company and say, well, I'm a DJ just so. That's what he said. But at the same point in time, I think that for you to want to do this, you have to understand not just the good, but understand the bad. You understand? Yeah. And in many ways too, how you go through the bad and come out on the next side will determine if you really want to do this. And that's why, again, I go back to that same live we had with Just Jay on Tuesday, where he was talking about 1 year he had lost so much money, and it created a particular level of innovation in him to go back now into the creative side of himself and do things to be able to not just get back to where he wanted to, but I think in that whole process, it reaffirmed to him that he wanted to do this. And I do believe that there are a lot of guys who get involved into the industry because they see the stars of it and they see everybody on stage.
They see the end product.
They see the end product. So they'll go to the soca brainwash, wanting to play at the soca brainwash. Yeah. But they would never really understand the sleepless nights, the sponsorship meetings, the financial decisions, the partner who you had to cut from the cast, and this one who total on you and other. They would never understand all those things that go into creating the soca brainwash. And I think that is the biggest issue, or one of the biggest issues that comes out of this whole thing. I have like 4 questions I want to ask.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to get to the important questions. So we covered that in that aspect of it, right? So let me go to another question, which I hear somebody asking, and it's a very strange question because obviously we in the Caribbean have our standard, so it will be very interesting to see what other DJs here say tonight. It comes from Rom, which is, do you prefer Serato or record box, and why? I've never heard somebody ask a record box question.
Yeah. be honest, I would still say Serato.
Have you ever used Rekordbox?
I used Rekordbox a couple times, but I mean, I think from me, the couple times I use the Rekordbox, I would say that it's more catered for maybe the EDM DJs.
Right.
When I say EDM DJs, that's you're just strictly EDM DJ.
I seen Jay saying that Rekordbox is way ahead of its time, and I guess that's something I will definitely have to delve into.
Yeah, and, I can't say for sure either because I haven't gone into really say to try to download it. I wouldn't want to comment on it either because we don't have the requisite information on it. Yeah, but somebody like I would say that somebody like Jay or somebody like Puffy would probably be able to divulge more information on that because of where they have gone to. You understand? And I see just said you could control lighting and all with Rekordbox. So that's I know that's what I'm saying. I know there's a lot of things to do with it. You could the point he made is probably correct, where it probably is ahead of your time or probably ahead of our time. Because I mean most of the events that we go to, I don't think unless you want to actually really revolutionize the whole thing and throw your own party and do that.
Alright, so this is our next good question here, right? And I see laid here. So this is a very interesting one, right? Bringing the professional standard in promoters is important to us. Is this lacking in the industry?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah.
Because no, I like this question. Because again, a lot of people would say, and I'm glad that Laird here too. Because I mean, people would obviously, some people would the scapegoat for a shitty party. Most times it's be the shitty music. The DJs, oh, let me be real. The biggest scapegoat is always be the DJs play shit.
Yeah.
It's always be when they goes and ask somebody how the party was. Yeah, shit. Why was shit? The music was shit. The DJs play shit.
Yeah.
Right? May it be true or not, okay, cool, fine. But I think and there needs to be a standard as well across the board, because not the same when not anybody could be a DJ. Not
everybody can be a promoter.
Not anybody can throw a party and be like, okay, yeah. And this is something too that has been, I think, on the rise within recent times, where everybody think that they are promoters as well and they can throw a good party and this is why they just hire whoever close to them or whatever. Cool.
Yeah.
But there should be a standard as well. Right. And I think that DJs need to come down harder on the promoters.
Correct. Correct.
You understand? Because I think we just let it slide.
I like Butler, I like that. I would like that.
Yeah, because we, again, and nobody can say no. We are the scapegoats. Nobody will go and say, well, the lighting was thing and this and the ground. Few people will say, okay, yeah, I didn't like the venue or this and that. But most of the time, 80% of the time,
yeah,
the music was shit.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that the music wasn't shit, but that is always the case. But nobody really going and study, okay, yeah, boy, this probably shouldn't have been done this way, or that shouldn't have been done this way, or this promoter didn't really think about, didn't really think about the cast that he wanted to hire to play for the party.
And not just that, I think a lot of promoters don't consider the DJs as professionals. You understand?
Just come back down to the point, yeah.
So they have the lighting, so they go to the party, they have the best lighting, and they have the best gears by the door, and you can get all the drinks, whatever. But when you go on stage now, well, first of all, when your name is carded to play, but you go by the door, but you have no passes again, you have no parking.
All that, there was a lot
when you go on stage now, you see an old mixer, and if anybody knows me and they know how I am with Groove Theory, I am putting fire on the first 57 mixer. So if there's any promoter in the group right now and you're still giving people the first 57 mixer, you're
and again, and this is something that, again, we need to say, okay, here what's going on. This is what promoters need to do as well. And I'm glad we're talking about this, because promoters just feel like, okay, I will do everything else right up.
Yeah,
when it comes to the music, but when it comes to the music,
I see Shane Beard, I see him. So yeah, all right.
When it comes to the music, it's like whatever, just be substandard with the music. But at the end of the day, the reason why people come into the party in the first place is not because of the concept of your party. They're not coming because of the concept of your party. You could have the greatest concept in the world. You feel they're really coming for that?
I would disagree with that a little bit, sir. Because
listen.
Hold on.
Cool.
Here why I disagree with that. At the end of the day, there are events where yes, people are coming for the music and the entertainment. But on a day when there are 20 million events that have music and entertainment, people are going to go to the ones that attract them the most, and that's where the concept comes into play. So, and
the concept is a plus.
Well too, because there are some,
but the main reason.
But there are some events. No, but let me look at it like Carnival. There are some events where the same DJs and the same artists going to be performing in the same shows. But what's the reason why you're going to choose to go from one to the other? Because there is some winning element to the concept that's going to attract you to come to the event. So I don't disagree with the fact that, as you said, the entertainment is extremely important. And that is one thing at Group Theory and myself in particular that I want us to promote, that DJs are professionals, right? And we of ourselves need to take it from a professional route. But at the same point in time, I still do believe that promoters do what they do need to develop a concept that's going to be willing to win with everybody. And again, and I'm going to say this again because I've seen some people talking about it. Again, if you're using a TTM 57 MK1 in 2020, something is wrong. Because Serato Scratch Live has been discontinued 6 years now. We are going into 2021. It's have no more events for the year. So you can take this time to understand Serato DJ and understand why it's important.
Again,
have new equipment, please.
Again, right? Please. A lot of the promoters that throw in events now, and even then or even now, I think they this is why it's always good when this is why I like doing parties for promoters that are actual DJs actually in the entertainment and really understand what it is, because they would obviously know the standard of having proper players or having the music sung in a certain way. And not even that, that's a technical aspect. But just the whole, even a simple thing as, and again, quick, carnival events. I have done so much carnival events, and even with Machel Montano, carnival events playing. And I have gone to so much events where I have stood on a stage going to plug in my laptop and questioning what the ras these people who setting up for days, did they even consider the DJ? Did they even consider? And I'm not trying to say this to mess up anybody. Did they even consider? You could be the tallest DJ, the short, because I short. You could be the tallest DJ, but some DJ setups that I have been and I have seen, and I have seen Shomari, so and nobody can tell me no, even ask Treble, ask anybody.
So Singh,
I have seen, I know, laugh when I say that, right? I have seen where literally, whether you are a tall DJ or a short DJ, you cannot see the crowd.
So Singh, isn't that you're saying that in your rider, you ask them to supply some cases so you can stand up on a step or something?
So from the time I reach any event, when I reach any event, I just go and check the stage and see if I need, and I just go and ask the sound system, man, hey, give me two of you, the thing that's cover you. Get two of that. So that's not even, no, I'm not even joking. I serious about that. No, but but you understand what I'm saying, Shomari? Serious thing. There have some events where you go and you can tell that they didn't take into consideration because I always like being one with the event. I always like being to me, the closer you are to the crowd or the closer you are to the people, is always the better energy. Right? So I've seen where people have some and I say it goes for the tall players, and I want the tall people in here, the tall DJs in here, to please say if I'm wrong. They have events where you win and it's like you cannot even see There's like no way. It's like,
all right.
What are you doing?
All right, so we will say, I want to get to the last question, and then, well, the last two questions, and then wrap up for you. So we'll say, again, it's important for DJs to understand that this is a profession. It's also important for promoters to understand as a profession, and for any promoters in any group, just remember, if Assassin come into play, he needs to have 2 canning crates, as back to basics, just say, because he needs to stop and see the crowd properly. Right. So the last two questions I seen here. Let me get with this one from Mixmaster Geo Boy, which is would you let another DJ use your laptop in a party if his owner is not with?
Of course, yeah. Why not? I have gone places where I have played off of people's laptop as well if something was wrong with mine, or even back in days of CDs I have played off of different people's CDs. And again, it's the unity, the energy. Obviously, that's why people would feel a certain way towards somebody by doing that. One thing I would say that a little more iffy is the headphones. I mean, headphones is something that should be personal.
So hold that point. As I just said that, let me add this question here. DJs playing entire sets without headphones. How does that look in your opinion? I see the question, boy. Who asked that question, boy? DJs who, let me see if I can bring it back up.
See who asked that question.
Hold on. Right. DJs playing entire sets without headphones. How does that look in your opinion?
For one, and let me be real honest. For one, because I realized like the evolution of DJs with Serato and when everything is, I mean, the evolution of DJs, you feel like, okay, you don't need to, because of this reading the waveforms and everything, and you don't need to. But my take on it when this started happening, right, was that for that to really work, one, crates have to be built.
Correct.
All cue points have to be queued up. Right. And the third biggest factor is you have to be staring at the screen probably 80% of the time.
Because you have to see the wave leg matching.
You have to keep watching the screen most of the time right? Which takes away from, again, DJ basics, watching the crowd and understanding, reading the crowd.
Right.
So you have to be focused on the screen. And I'm not saying no. There are DJs I've seen, and when it started, I was one that was like against it, because I was like, I draw reference to football. I was like, no way a referee gonna let you come and play football without your shin pads. Yeah,
and as you would know, and for anybody here who in radio, and just as a quick story and a side note to this, I always remember, if you walked into 96.1 or any of the radio stations long time to do a demo or to enter any competition, and I always remember this with Kenneth, God rest his soul, when he went into 96.1 to try to get in, and they were doing the talent search at the point in time, he walked into the booth and he read the news and he did everything. And when he walked out, I always remember that Paul Richards had watched him and said, your reading was on point. I love your diction. You didn't have on any headphones. That's And he said forgetting your headphones was like forgetting your seatbelt when you started driving. Of course. Yeah. You know?
So again, it's part of, as Clyde saying here, big up Clyde the Outlaw and the DJs, the foundation DJs and the guys that set these stone would understand that, again, it's craft. It's not even that you use it, whether you use it or not. It's part of the culture. It's part of your craft. It's part of you. As you being a DJ, one of the main things is having a headphones. Yeah. Whether you plug it in, you just rest on your head, whether you use it or you want to think or not. And that was my main issue when it came down. That a lot of people, I had this conversation with many DJs about that. A lot of people would ask me, because I was one that made it clear that I did not agree with it, and I did find it was like, to me, it was like a disrespect to everything that I went through starting to be a DJ. To me, it was like a slap in the face. It was like, I'm not saying, I'm not saying that I can't. I could do it, because I remember I used to do it. I remember I used to do it without BPM and without waveforms.
Right, yeah.
So then I can't, people say, well, you can't do it. No, it's not about whether they could do it or not.
Yeah.
Again, it's just respecting the craft and respecting the culture, respecting what.
And I think too, just to close off on that point, everything in life is an energy.
Yeah.
And as much as you can look at the music, you have to hear the music.
Of course.
Sometimes you have to feel what you're going to play in that moment before you play it. Yes, and so it's okay to see it. And like, I'm not downtrodden anybody who looks at it and looks at a waveform. But there's something uniquely different about hearing the next song that you're going to play and connecting that to what is currently playing. That is totally the essence of what it is that we're doing. And if you really think about it, if you think about it, growing up looking at people playing music, you always used to sit down and watch the guy with the headphones listening to what is coming next, because you know that he's trying to find a song that is not just going to be able to get people more involved, but it's going to be something that he believes is going to be a game changer for the event. Let me get to the last question here that's a seeing on my list.
Before you go quick, or even to bring in the particular song from a different point in the song, because with things like that, they would probably have to bring it in the same way all the time. This is where, again, repetition with DJs would mix, and they would mix the same way, they would sound the same way, they go in the same way, because you have it set the same way. It's like a preset. It's basically, you have to do it the same way. They have no room for freestyle and no room for being, improvising or trying to be different. So that was my big thing with it.
All right, so the last two questions, one from here and the one that I have for you as well. And we're going to wrap up by 11:15. Eh? So I'll tell you from now. We have 15 minutes. Right. Yeah. Here we go. Who are your top young DJs currently? Let me tell you from now, if you don't call Gio and that list, something, he's not going to work any more shifts for you on radio. I'll tell you from now. Eh?
I didn't have to call Gio name, because Gio know that. I remember Gio at 14 years old. Gio was, I didn't really hear about Gio and know who he was. I remember I got a message on my Instagram at time playing on radio, and Gio was like, yo, I listen to you on radio and I really would like to meet you one day. That's what it was. That's all it was. It wasn't, hey, I need advice, I need nothing, because I got a lot of that. A lot of times you can help me, you can get me on radio, and it's just a little bullshit. And Gio was just like, hey, I listen to you on radio, I really would like to meet you sometime.
Right.
And that's what it was. And I found I was like, yo, and I was like, hey.
So if you could name your top 4, let me just say 4. 4. Now we want 4. We want 4.
All right. Now, before we go into that, right? What would you say? Because I mean, we'll have to class what is a young DJ.
Huh.
What would you say is a young DJ? Because they still have maybe old DJs who still considered young DJs. Because
all right, so then I would say just in the interest of time, use your standard for what you consider a young DJ and give a 4. Just based on your standard. Quick, let me go.
Right. Well, Gio is 1.
Right.
Who I would say again, and again, this is straight up who I feel like respect the craft, understand the craft, and really doing,
right.
I really like Mash. I think Mash is a man that I feel, he have the right idea, and I like the fact that he evolving in terms of MCing and doing,
Right.
Who again I would say? I like Dylan too.
Right.
I think Dylan is somebody that actually, I think he again, and Dylan is a man you used to watch and again is paying attention and really trying to be better and not trying to feel like you can't talk to them. And I think a lot of the DJs now, the younger DJs now, you can't have a conversation with them about DJing.
Right.
They don't want to really understand what it's about. Right? So that's Dylan, that's 3. Somebody I was saying, I was telling you the other day, boy, I saw somebody I was saying, I find I hear that one of his good boy. I try to remember who it was. Good boy. Alright, let me come back to that. Yeah.
We'll stick
that song. But right, that's my 3, I would say, from what I have heard,
Right. And
I like
mind you, that to everybody here, that doesn't mean that there isn't guys out there that not talented as well, but it's just a matter of opinion. It's just a matter of opinion.
this is my from what I have seen and what I've seen, you know?
No, basically one of the things I should congratulate you again, because you know recently I become a father, which is something that's a big milestone in anybody's life. How has fatherhood now impacted your outlook on your career at this point in time?
Outlook, I would say the word is perspective for me. A lot of things, I mean, like just things in general, like life in general, like looking at life for somebody else. So like everything right now, I mean, if you pay attention to my social media, my everything, you would know that I think my son Jace, he is like, that's like everything for me right now. So everything I would do would be for him, towards him, you know, like it's been like one of the happiest things. And even whether you are a father or not, whatever, I think it's something that actually, when you tell yourself, okay, am I ready for this? I think you will always be ready when it happens, you know, you realize that. And I say big respect to all the dads that actually involved in the lives of the kids and actually trying to, you know, to be around.
Right.
And try to do better and try to, you know, provide. And it's not, as I say, it's not just providing. Because some people will just provide and be like, okay, don't even provide for a year and we don't even see the kid for a whole year.
Yeah, correct.
You know? So for me, it's like the transition for me was easy. It was like, it wasn't hard, it wasn't difficult. It didn't take anything out of me.
Yeah.
It didn't make things difficult for me. It didn't stop me from going to work. It didn't stop me from, you know, change everything.
And then that gives you perspective, because now, again, you are a touring person, you're a traveling person, you're working events, however, whatnot. And as you rightfully said, now you have this life that you responsible for. And it's not just a matter of being in his life, as I say, as just to be there to say, well, around, but it actually means having an active and participant role in his development. You understand?
Of course.
And
that's one thing that
and the reason why I say that as the last question for tonight is because I think a lot of times people in the industry, and look, if it is that somebody is not ready for that at a particular point in their life, that's fine, right? But at the same point in time, I think there's a thought process by some that if it is that you do find yourself in that position, it means that all the other things of your life may suffer, so to speak. And you have still maintained that ability to be involved in the industry, to do what you've done, and still be an active father at the same point in time.
Let me tell you that whoever thinking that, trust me, that is not the case. Whether whether, as I say, whether it be financially, whether it be however, you always find means of making it work.
Yeah.
It will always be your priority. If that's your priority, it will always be a priority. That can't change. So, like as I say, even I think that like that was like, because as I say, we went through these stages of everything with me. I tried to give you all the time in all these stages, and like after the whole thing with Artiste Team was the last, and then with Machel Montano, and then this now was like the pinnacle for me. It was like the ice on the cake. It was like it's happy. It's just I'd be happy to, like, you know, like an hour ago, like before we had the interview here, when you called me, I was like, hey, answer your phone. And I was like, hey, you'll see anybody in the background. I was like, I'm going to put him to sleep now. And so like it's really amazing. So, you know, as I say, big up to all the dads. And with that being said, Sunday is Mother's Day, so big up to all the moms as well. You know, shouts to all the moms locked on, and big up to Jace mom as well. You know, so Yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess we could end it on that point because again, if we sit down here, we could go till 2 o'clock.
Yeah, we could go. Yeah, of course,
And
of course.
I got things to do, man, and plus you
Yeah,
got things to do as well.
yeah.
First of all, brother, I want to thank you for your time tonight.
Of course, it was amazing.
As I tell everybody, when this started, it was a matter of just trying to show a different side of everybody. And when I closing off tonight, I actually want to make a point to that because somebody asked me why it is that I felt compelled to do this with Group Theory to start this one-on-one series. And all the conversations we've had with every single DJ, which started with DJ Quest all the way down to you, has always been a different perspective about people that you would never get to know if it is you do have a conversation with them. And even though we want to be able to impact on younger DJs and DJs in total, parts about the craft and about the art form, at the same point in time, we also want people to understand that we are human beings and you have life to live. And there's other aspects of yourself as well that impacts what you are doing. You understand? So on that note, I really want to thank you for your time tonight. And continue doing your thing, continue being safe.
Listen, let me just say this quick though. I honest, and I was thinking about it when you called me and you said when you messaged me, you said thing, and then we spoke and you said, I thought about it and I was like, through my whole career, I don't think I've ever done a one-on-one like this. Swear to God. Like, I'm not just saying that, right? I'm not just saying that. Like, I don't think I've ever done. I think this was like a first official start to finish long
I feel blessed for it.
Yeah, so I have to say props to yourself, Chacha, big up to the whole team, the whole, everything, the whole DJ fraternity, and big up to everybody that came on tonight, whether it was on for like a 2 minutes, you scroll through or whatever. Big up to all the DJs, all the sound systems. Big up to RSV, big up to Rennie. I just want to let you all know real quick, as I said before, I didn't do a live stream as yet.
Right.
Because, if I feel like, I have to do it a certain way. So, with that being said, when I do, it's going to be a scene. I don't want to show you right now, but if I pan a certain way here, I don't know if I'm allowed to. Rennie, allowed to do it or what? Pan it for them?
Pan it quick, a quick pan. Right. So we do a cover. That is good. So brother, we're looking forward to the live stream. Again, thanks for your time. For everybody who wanted to know the answer to your question, I'll make sure and tell you guys after Sing comes off. But thanks for your time tonight, brother, and we'll pick up on the flip side. All right?
Of course, right? Respect.
There is